And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, today we're going to be taking a look at La Boca, which is a game in which two players are working simultaneously on a puzzle. Now La Boca, as I found out, is named after a colorful neighborhood, and I went and looked it up on the internet, and lo and behold, such a neighborhood exists, and it's pretty neat, and I would like to live in one of those buildings. But La Boca was touted by a lot of people as a game which would possibly be one of the Spiel des Jahres nominees for 2013. It was not, and a lot of people were kind of surprised that it was not put on there. I wasn't surprised because, well, I didn't know anything about it. But now I've given it a play. Let's take a look at how the game works, and then I'll be back with my opinion. This game actually uses the box lid. You have a plastic insert with a board placed on top of it. Here's where you store the coins or the points. There's also a spot here for the timer that comes with the game, and then a spot for a card in the board that you play on, along with point totals. Each player is going to be given a color, which they'll put in front of them to show your color for the game. And then they're going to take small chips of their color and give one to each other player in the game. Those players are going to take those chips and shuffle them. One person is going to go first. They're going to take the little chips that they shuffled and turn it over. Well, so let's say I'm green. I'll say, okay, me and yellow, we play first. Then the next person goes and they'll take one of their chips and they'll say, oh, then they and blue. So you will play with each other player twice, which means in a 4-player game you'll be playing 6 times total, once with each of the other 3 players twice, while in a 6-player game you'll be playing 10 times total. Now, each time you pick another player, then you're going to take a card. Now, there's a set of easy cards and a set of difficult cards. The difference being that the easy cards do not have the red block. There's a pile of blocks in this game. There are 4 single blocks, brown, white, gray, and black. There are 4 double blocks, orange, green, purple, and pink. There is a triple block, yellow, a triple curved block, blue, and then the red block is the biggest. So what you do is you'll place the box like this, between you and the other person who may have to move, so that you're sitting across from each other. Then you're going to take one of the cards, and each card has 4 puzzles on it, or actually only 2 puzzles on it, and you're going to place it face down like that into the thing so you can see the one puzzle. Now, when I'm looking at this puzzle here, what this means is, to accomplish the puzzle here, I need to see the blocks so that they look like that when looking from this angle here. My opponent, on the other hand, has to see the blocks so they look like this. So, I don't know what my opponent has, although we're allowed to talk all we want. So I say, okay, I'll set the blue here, the orange here, the brown here. The yellow needs to go on top of the brown, so I will place the red like that, because you can't leave any bridges as you're placing these, and the purple. And I can't see anything else, so I'll just move everything else out of the way so it can't be seen by me. Now, you might be able to see here that I'm trying to get yellow, purple, brown, orange, and blue. Yellow, purple, brown, orange, and blue. And if you look straight through here, none of the other blocks are showing. However, my opponent is trying to see white, black, green, red, pink, and gray. Well, that's pretty simple. They can move the pink here, probably put the green on top like this, switch the gray and the white, and let's see, they see red, they see pink. Oh, the gray should go down here. There we go. When they're looking from their end, they can see white, red, black, green, pink, and gray, and which is what the card shows. And then we got to, of course, make sure that both players, once you do that, you will stop the timer, because this is being timed the whole time. And then depending on how long it took you, if it takes you over 2 minutes, you get no points. But if I get it done, for example, in 57 seconds, the two of you, you will each take 4 points. And so both sides of the board show you the most points you can get is if you get it done in 1 to 15 seconds, you will get 10 points. If you make a mistake, you will get no points, but that's basically how the game works. Now, not everyone is as simple as the one, and like I said, you can't show each other your set of cards, so you're working together and yelling at each other and saying, I need to be able to see the purple one, and I can't see the purple one at all, and figuring out how to place them. And often the red block will cause you more problems than not, which is why the cards without it are easier than the ones with it. After each player has gone with every other player twice, you will simply count up your points, and whoever has the most is the winner. Well, this wasn't chosen for the Spiel des Jahres, the largest gaming award in the world. And you know what? Big deal. I wouldn't have voted for it. I don't think it's that big of a... It's really not a game. It's an activity. Yeah, sure, there's a game because you're working with each person and trying to build the puzzle as fast as you can. And it is somewhat unique, I won't argue, because you're working with another person. But that's where the game, after that point, it's just... I don't know. It's just not that interesting for me at all. I mean, I'm interested in doing one or two of these puzzles, but if I'm playing in a 6-player game, I'm doing 10 of these puzzles. And not only am I doing 10 of these puzzles, but I'm watching 20 or more puzzles being done that I'm not involved in. And that's even more boring, just to sit there and watch one person yell at another person on how to do it, because that's what often happens. Yeah, you can work together with the other person, but if one person has a dominant personality at all, they'll quick set their side up and then continue to yell at the other person to get their side in order. Yeah, you're right. Okay, the game's about teamwork. Yeah, teamwork. Woohoo, teamwork. And, okay, great. But the game itself has to be really that interesting. There's a lot of different puzzle-ish style games out there. People have compared this to Rumis or to Pueblo. But in Rumis and Pueblo, those games are about putting out a piece and scoring points, and then the next person, and you keep building this fascinating, structure. Here, you're just quick building a structure, solving a simultaneous puzzle, and done. So really, the only difference between this and anything that you would get from Think Fun, for example, where you do these little puzzles, those are great little puzzles to do. Here, you need other people to do it together. You need 2 people to do it together. And since many times one person's doing the work of both people anyway, it might as well have been solitaire. Either way, what I'm saying about La Boca is, I'm not saying I dislike it. What I'm saying is, it's an activity. It's not a game. And when you play it as the full game, I get bored halfway through because I do my thing and then I play with some of their players. Let's say a 4-player game. 6 players is ridiculous, but a 4-player game. In a 4-player game, I'm going to be playing with each of their players 3 times each. And so each player has I'm going to be playing with each of the players 2 times each. Each player has 3 chips, one of each other person. So there's going to be a total of 12 matches, and I'm going to be in half of them. The half that I'm not involved in, sure, I have the timer, and sure, I'm there watching what the other person does, but that's not that interesting. And then I find myself on the 4th or 5th time like, here we go again. And when you start getting bored with this style game, then it's not a very good game anymore because you want the game to engage you all the way to the end. I don't know. I'll probably take some heat for this review because it seems like everybody else loves it, but for me, it was very boring after a while. It was interesting, a concept, an interesting idea, but wow, did it bore quickly. I mean, it was a 5-minute thing, and then after 5 minutes, I was done, but the game went much longer than that. So maybe the idea interests you. Maybe you want to encourage teamwork between your kids. You say, I want Bob and Susan to work together, and this is a game that will force them to work together. Maybe, but likely Bob will end up yelling at Susan the entire time what to do, and they'll leave the game more frustrated than before. But perhaps you want to do this kind of cooperative building thing. In that case, the game's for you. But I'm saying in 2 or 3 years, no one's going to even remember this game at all.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door!